Functions and procedures are two types of named PL/SQL blocks that are used in Oracle to perform specific tasks. Here's a brief explanation of each. Functions. A function is a named PL/SQL block that can accept input parameters and return a single value. It performs a specific calculation or operation and returns a value to the calling program. Functions are typically used in SQL statements or expressions, where they can be called to perform computations on data and return results. Functions are defined using the create function statement and can be stored in the database for reuse. Example: a function to calculate the square of a number and return the result. Procedures. A procedure is a named PL/SQL block that can accept input parameters and perform a series of actions or operations. It can manipulate data, execute SQL statements, control program flow, and perform other tasks. Procedures do not return values directly like functions. They can use out or in-out parameters to return values indirectly. Procedures are defined using the create procedure statement and can be stored in the database for reuse. Example: a procedure to update employee details in a database table. In summary, functions are used to perform calculations or operations and return a single value, while procedures are used to perform a series of actions or tasks without necessarily returning a value. Both functions and procedures can accept input parameters to customize their behavior, and they can be stored in the database for reuse across multiple programs or SQL statements. Creating a stored procedure. Use the create procedure statement to define a new stored procedure. Specify the procedure name and any input/output parameters. Write the PL SQL code within the procedure block to perform the desired tasks. End the procedure definition with the END keyword. Below is an example of creating a simple stored procedure for inserting a new department into the database. Executing a stored procedure. To execute a stored procedure, use the execute or exec command followed by the procedure name and any required parameters. Alternatively, you can use the call statement to invoke the procedure. Below an example of executing the create_department stored procedure. Type the code in your SQL Developer UI or UI of your choice. In my case, I've used SQL Developer. Then press the green arrow button to see the results. Type the code in your SQL Developer UI or UI of your choice. In my case, I've used SQL Developer. Then press the green arrow button to see the results. In Oracle stored procedures, in and out parameters serve different purposes. In parameters, are used to pass values into the stored procedure. These parameters are read-only within the procedure, meaning they cannot be modified by the procedure. They are typically used to provide input values for processing within the procedure. Out parameters are used to return values from the stored procedure. These parameters are write-only within the procedure, meaning they must be assigned a value before the procedure completes. They are typically used to return calculated or fetched values back to the calling program. In-out parameters can work as both in and out. Let's illustrate the usage of in and out parameters with examples based on the departments table. In this example, the stored procedure get_department_name accepts an in parameter p_department_id to specify the department ID for which the department name is to be retrieved. The procedure retrieves the department name from the departments table based on the provided department ID and assigns it to the out parameter p_department_name. Finally, the retrieved department name is displayed using dbms_output.put_line. The key difference between in and out parameters is that in parameters are used to pass values into the procedure, while out parameters are used to return values from the procedure. In parameters are read-only and cannot be modified within the procedure, whereas out parameters must be assigned a value within the procedure before it completes. Type the code in your SQL Developer UI or UI of your choice. In my case, I've used SQL Developer. Then press the green arrow button to see the results. Type the code in your SQL Developer UI or UI of your choice. In my case, I've used SQL Developer. Then press the green arrow button to see the results. In Oracle, functions are named PL SQL blocks that can accept input parameters, perform a series of operations, and return a single value. They can be used to encapsulate a specific computation or logic and are often used to retrieve or calculate values based on input parameters. Let's illustrate the process of creating and using a function with an example based on the departments table. In this example, we create a function called calculate_average_salary that accepts an input parameter p_department_id representing the department ID for which we want to calculate the average salary. The function retrieves the average salary from the employees table for the specified department ID using the avg aggregate function and assigns it to the local variable v_average_salary. Finally, the function returns the calculated average salary using the return statement. In this example, we declare a variable v_department_id representing the department ID for which we want to retrieve the average salary. We then call the calculate_average_salary function, passing the department ID as an argument, and assign the returned value to the variable v_average_salary. Finally, we display the average salary for the specified department using dbms_output.put_line. You can adjust the column names, table structures, and logic within the function to suit your specific requirements. Functions provide a way to encapsulate reusable logic and calculations, making your code more modular and maintainable. Type the code in your SQL Developer UI or UI of your choice. In my case, I've used SQL Developer. Then press the green arrow button to see the results. Type the code in your SQL Developer UI or UI of your choice. In my case, I've used SQL Developer. Then press the green arrow button to see the results. In Oracle PL SQL, local subprograms are subprograms, procedures or functions, that are declared and defined within the scope of another PL SQL block, such as a stored procedure or an anonymous block. These subprograms are only accessible within the block in which they are defined and cannot be called or referenced from outside that block. Local subprograms provide a way to modularize and organize code within a larger block of code. They can be used to encapsulate a specific functionality or a set of related tasks within the scope of the enclosing block. In this example, we define a procedure called calculate_average_salary. Within this procedure, we declare a local subprogram get_department_average_salary. This function accepts a department ID as a parameter, calculates the average salary for that department, and returns the result. Within the main procedure, we call the local subprogram using get_department_average_salary, 30, and display the average salary using dbms_output.put_line. Local subprograms provide a way to encapsulate logic and make the code more modular and readable within the scope of a larger PL SQL block.